I really don't feel, I'm like afraid of wearing this because I'm afraid of sweating in it. It's not that I'm nervous, although I'm very nervous for it. I feel like my brain has gotten bigger through reading romance. Hi friends, my name is Joel and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be kicking off the second volume of our romance reading vlog series, and yes, it is now a series, so there may be potential volumes in the future. I'm really excited to be diving into romance novels once again because last time I really enjoyed it, and I think that romance is definitely one of my favourite genres now. And so, of course, since we're getting into Valentine's Day, I had to dress up for the occasion, and so I have the strawberry shirt, which is made by the designer who made the strawberry dress. And can we just take a second to just appreciate this shit? Like, it is gorgeous, stunning. As well, it pairs beautifully well with Noelle's new necklace. She recently did a collaboration with Ana Luisa, and the necklace is just simply stunning. It celebrates how readers are always in touch with their books, with one another, and we're all connected through our love of reading, and it's just amazing. And I'm just super proud of her as well because she's just done so much, but also you have all done so much because we've recently, as of this morning, reached 50,000 subscribers. I just want to thank you for just being here. I want to thank you for commenting, liking, sharing. I want to thank you for giving me this platform and this space in order to create a community of people that love to share their love of reading. I think that we are just awesome. We are amazing, and I cannot wait to share that with you later on this year. And yeah, I'm getting emotional, but we're gonna ignore that because this is a romance vlog. And yes, it won't be a romance vlog until I cry, because I cried in the last one, I have to cry in this one. As you notice once again, I have the empty shelves, but we do have some books on there. My February TBR, huh? I will hopefully have books on these shelves soon because I am being sent books for my birthday, and so I kind of wanted to hold off until I had all of the books so that I knew how I could decorate my shelves. But I do have a few ideas as to how I want to decorate my shelf. You'll probably hear more about that in my room makeover video, which I'm filming at this moment in time. But before we get into the romance books that I'll then be reading for this vlog, a quick message from this video's sponsor. Hello everyone, Editing Joel here, and you can probably tell there's something a bit different with me. Like, yeah, I got my hair cut. Today I wanted to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, which is Native, which are a vegan and cruelty-free deodorant that I've actually been using for a few months now. I remember discovering them back when I was watching the Beauty Within YouTube channel, and then I also saw that Cindy had also partnered with them before, and so I got my own like set of Native deodorants, and I've just loved them ever since. And so since they asked me to partner with them for this video, I was fully for it because I love the ethos. And as we are in the time of Valentine's Day, I definitely think focusing on ourselves is a key component during this time, as self-care and self-love is vastly important. And so making sure that we smell good is a very key component of that. Native is an aluminium-free, paraben and sulfate-free deodorant which contains simple ingredients that you know of, such as coconut oil and shea butter. I find that Native is pretty long-lasting, and it's really good to apply after I've had like a really long exercise session. It helps me feel fresh afterwards with this deodorant. I really find that it helps when I'm in a rush in the morning to go to university or even to the gym, because it dries really quickly and it's so easy to apply, it being a roll-on. And so Native were very kind enough to send me 3 of their signature scents in order for me to share them with you today, even though I already use their deodorants already, and so I already have like some of the scents like already like done. But the 3 that they sent me were sandalwood and fig. This is a collaboration with the LA-based lifestyle brand Jungalow. They basically did this to create some limited edition deodorants. I love sandalwood so much, and I love the scent of it because the earthy tones just empower the rest of the scents of this deodorant and give it that really rich smell. And you can check out the other scents of the collaboration on their website as well. And the second one that I was then sent was citrus and herbal musk. The citrus scent just helps boost the freshness of this deodorant, and I just find it to be quite refreshing. It's definitely the one that I reach to after having like an at-home workout because it just helps me feel more fresh and it helps me just feel good about myself. And then the last one is the one that I basically go to on a day-to-day basis, the one that I use to just basically smell good and to basically smell sweet and refreshing. And it's the one that fits my vibe the most, and that's coconut and vanilla, because I don't know, there's just something about vanilla that vibes with me really well. Like, vanilla is just such an amazing, simple scent, but like where you use it and combine it with other products and other scents, it just empowers it so well, and I definitely think the coconut helps with that. But I've used a lot of their other scents in the past as well, so I would highly recommend just checking out their site and just seeing which scents like speak to you. I have a special deal for you, as usually a set of 3 deodorants from Native would cost $36. However, if you use the link in my description or use code fictional at checkout, you'll be able to get 33% off, which basically means that that set is now worth $24, and that is quite a really good saving. Also, if you live in the US, you can get free shipping, but Native also do ship to a bunch of other countries as well, as displayed here. And so I would definitely recommend go checking them out. And again, thank you so much to Native for sponsoring this video. I highly appreciate it because I just love your products so much, and I cannot wait to continue using them in my daily life. And now back to the past me as I continue this sensational romance reading vlog and discovering the beauty of the romance read. And so yeah, we have 6 romance picks that I'm going to be reading for this vlog. One is on its way currently because I wanted to really read it for this vlog, but the art copy is at uni, and so I was like, I need to buy the final copy so that I can have it here so that I can read it. So that is on its way, and it should be here today. Otherwise, we have 5 other picks which really all convey to a kind of like similar color scheme of blues, pinks, and purples, which you could totally do a whole analysis on like book cover design and how like the colors that they choose relate to a specific mood or a specific theme, but that is for another video. And so the books that we have in question are One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I chose this book because I really loved Red, White, and Royal Blue last year, and plus I was sent the art copy of this, and so I was like, I really need to read it before it comes out so I can give my whole thoughts to all of you, and plus it's sapphics. Like, I couldn't have a romance reading vlog without the sapphics. Then we have Meet Cute Club by Jack Harbin. This one was one that a lot of people have been recommending to me for a good gay romance, and so I knew I had to pick up this novel. Then we have You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle, which has been non-stop recommended to me by V, by Sil, by Maha, and I just think that if everyone is recommending me this book, there is a reason, and so I must read this book to conform to that reason. And then next on the list we have The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. This one I'm really interested in because it just seems really great, and a lot of people have rated this quite highly as well. There is also representation on the autism spectrum, and so I'm really excited to see this. And then the next book that I'm going to read is Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. This one kind of was recommended to me if I wanted to maintain those red, white, and royal blue vibes, and also just if I was in need of a good gay romance as well, and so I'm really, really excited to see. I'm just hoping this gives me all of like the London feels, because I'm seeing like a lot of London landmarks on this, and so hopefully I'll feel like the London vibes from it, because I'm really, really craving that right now. And then the other novel that I'm then going to read is Love is a Revolution by Renee Watson. This one I picked up immediately because I was like, I want the self-love, the activism, I just really, really want that kind of aspect in a romance novel, like how loving yourself is potentially more important than loving someone else, and like loving yourself is a revolutionary concept. I'm just really excited to be reading these novels over the next few days and just seeing everything that happens. We also have a few exciting things happening over the next few days. I have a live show tonight with Sissy and Asia, celebrating both their birthdays, but also doing like a kind of like authorial Q&A, talking about like our writings and stuff as a whole, which is exciting. I'm also doing some exciting things tomorrow. I am potentially interviewing an author for an author interview for the channel, which is exciting, and I just cannot wait to discuss with them kind of their book and the way that they've written certain aspects of it as a whole, and I just can't wait because it's the very first author interview I'm doing for the channel, and it's gonna be really exciting, so I cannot wait for that. But yeah, I'm starting off the romance reading vlog with One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. One Last Stop basically follows August, who arrives to New York City, basically wanting her suspicions to be confirmed that like romance isn't real and that magic doesn't exist and like true love isn't possible. And then she meets Jane, who saves her on a train, and both of them hit it off quite easily. But there's like a slight problem. Jane dresses like a 70s punk rocker and has actually been displaced from the 1970s, and so she's been spending 50 years on a train and she doesn't really know what's happening, and so it's up to August and Jane in order to resolve the issues surrounding this weird time loop, time displacement narrative. There's definitely that kind of like magical aspect to this, a sort of fabulism, if you will, to it, where something weird and wacky happens and we're just rolling with it because it's the natural order of the universe. And so I'm really excited to see how Casey McQuiston McQuiston has really transformed this narrative, giving us the sapphic romance that we deserve, because I loved their writing in Red, White and Royal Blue. I just found it to be so sensational, and like you really got a feel for these characters, and the way that Casey McQuiston is able to build their characters as well is like truly amazing. And so I'm really excited to like see the great character building in One Last Stop as well. And so yeah, I'm gonna get into reading One Last Stop, and I will check back in with you once I'm about halfway through. The thing that I'm loving with this book so far is just how wholesome it is, and how like really cute all of the interactions that August is having with some of the other characters. Like Mila is just such like a mom figure in the friendship group, and she's just amazing. And so far the interactions between Jane and August have just been really like short and sweet, but also sensational at the same time. And I'm like really digging it, because it's such a nice build-up for this novel, and like there's a bunch of mystery surrounding it as well. And with the synopsis about August having to let go of her past, it really does seem like it's going to come in with some of the elements that have just been added, and oh, I am really looking forward to it. I can't wait to continue. Okay, so I'm currently halfway through One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and this is just perfect. The character development is just sensational. The character relationships and dynamics, beautiful. I'm loving the build-up of the plot throughout this entire novel. I definitely see some form of foreshadowing that's going on. It really, really is a McQuiston novel. Like, you get some of like the similar feels that I got from Red, White and Royal Blue. I'm truly feeling for these characters. I feel like August is just such a multifaceted protagonist, and like she has so many layers to her, and I feel like August is just iconic. The side characters as well are also fully fleshed out. We get this chosen family kind of dynamic, and it's amazing. And I just love kind of the magic of New York vibe that we're getting in this, and showing that the big cities can have so many different stories and so many different types of people, and so many like cool opportunities for success and friendship and jobs. I definitely think that Casey McQuiston really came into their own with this novel, and I definitely know that a lot of you are going to enjoy this and are just going to enjoy the ride. It's great. It's so great. I probably will go to bed now though, because I think it's like, I want to say it's like 2 a.m. Oh, I'm wrong. It's almost 3. It's almost 3 a.m. I have a 9 a.m. and I kind of wanted to wake up at 7. So we'll see what actually happens, but I will probably finish this in the morning. This is just the sapphic romance I've been needing. Like, it's great. And like Teresa from Sappho's Library really loved One Last Stop and has been like getting me to try and read One Last Stop for a while, and so I fully thank her for basically pushing me to read it in my romance reading vlog. And if you've yet to check out Teresa, I would highly recommend you go check her out, because she talks a lot about sapphic books and like sapphic representation, and if you really need like really good sapphic book recommendations, she has you covered. And so I'll have a link in the description down below in case you want to go check her out. I'm gonna get to bed because I am a tired boy. I'll just catch up with you tomorrow. I don't know when or where, but I'll catch up with you at some point. So yeah, good night, and I will see you then. Good morning, everyone. I basically had a lecture this morning and we talked a lot about sci-fi and women in space. And I didn't expect us to talk about Binti by Nandi Okorafor, but it was one of the main discussions that we had in the lecture. And we basically talked a lot about feminism within the sci-fi space and how feminism has kind of transformed how sci-fi is being written by women and also by men as well. And we're discussing how white feminism is actually harmful to women and non-binary people of color, and how it is actually reinforcing ideas of white supremacy and also sometimes patriarchy. It's been really interesting, this like sci-fi fantasy module, because it's kind of made us debate sci-fi and fantasy from like different aspects that I never really thought we'd be debating before. And so I'm really excited for like the rest of the module and to like see what we do. But yeah, so I'm coming to the end of One Last Stop now, and I literally do not want it to end, and it's just been so amazing so far, and they're literally about to pull off like a heist novel, and I'm fully for it. There's just so many elements in this novel that I love so much. Again, these characters are so well developed, and the way the plot has been building and has been progressing has been really well paced and really well thought out, and it's just been amazing. And the diversity that we're seeing in New York City as well, in McQuinston's New York City specifically, is just amazing. I'm just loving every second of it, and I'm really not looking forward to like finishing it. I don't know, I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be amazing. I don't know if Casey McQuiston was intending for someone to make this connection, but like the Q line on the New York train and like the way that that's the line that Jane comes in, I'm like, in Star Trek, the Q is a being that can like displace people from time and space and like transport back and forth. Like I wonder if there's a connection with Q from Star Trek, but also the Q line in One Last Stop. I might be completely wrong, but I'm just loving that is now my personal headcanon. I'm literally like 90 pages from finishing and I don't want it to end, but it's gonna have to end soon, so I'm gonna continue and we'll see what happens. So yeah. Hello friends, so I just got done with One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and oh my gosh, I am fully in love with this story. I am gonna rate it 5 stars on Goodreads because it is just so good. This is a sapphic romance that you all need to read. So when it comes out in June, go and purchase this, go and consume it, go borrow it from your local library because you are going to want to read this romance. It is honestly amazing. The characters are so well developed. The romance is so well thought out. The world building of like New York City is just fully like realized, and like you can imagine it as you're reading it. You can fully immerse yourself in these stories and the lives of these characters. I fully felt for August's and Jane's story throughout the entire narrative, and I think that it's just so sensational, and I definitely got the romantic vibes that McQuiston put in Red, White and Royal Blue in One Last Stop. I found myself shipping them from the very beginning because it just, the way that they connected immediately was like electricity. I'm just super happy now that I've read this. I think that the found family aspect in One Last Stop was completely welcomed, and I just loved the way that it functioned. I think that Mila and Nico were just such amazing side characters. Same with Wesley and Isaiah, and the whole drag queen scene as well in the entire novel. I just think that there's so many layers to the world that August encounters as she comes into New York City, and I think that it's just so beautiful and so queer and so amazing, and I think that it's just a really well written novel. It's so awesome, and I'm so glad that Casey wrote this. And the cover entirely was designed by Carrie Resnick, and so as I was reading that Entertainment Weekly article, I found out that McQuiston actually based the Q line off of the word queer, and so whilst it's not the Star Trek theory that I was particularly going for, there's still that kind of multi-dimensional link there, so I'm still happy about it. I love the fact that the reason they based on the Q line was because of the word queer, and how they actually went on the Q line and explored the entire Q line to see what it had to offer, and seeing that it's one of the longest lines on the New York subway, I found that it just it was amazing. Like, the amount of research that also went into this was amazing, and I'm just so happy about this novel. I think that it's just so wonderful and so queer and so happy. And then we did get the delivery yesterday of Love is a Revolution by Renee Watson, and the cover is simply stunning. It was illustrated by Alex Cabal, and then the whole thing was put together by Jeanette Levy. And so I'm just really excited to be delving into this once I finish my next read, because this is one that I'm really looking forward to and a anticipated read of mine for this year. But for now, the next book that I'm then going to be reading is Meet Cute Club by Jack Harbin. This is a self-published novel, and I definitely want to try and read self-published novels here and there, and the jacket design was designed by Jack Harbin himself, and it's just such a stunning and minimalist cover. All I know is that it follows Jordan and Rex, who are like the two main characters of this story. Jordan, he's kind of got this failing book club going on, and he really wants other people to join so that it doesn't like fail. Rex basically asks to join the book club, and together they start to work to bring it back to life and make it interesting again. And I think as they work together, they kind of have this like teasing dynamic going on where Rex is teasing Jordan about reading books meant for grandmas. But I think as they like work together to bring back the book club, they get closer and they're gonna fall in love. But I'm really excited to see what this has to offer. It is literally just over 200 pages, so it should be quite a quick read for me. But for now, I do have some uni work that I need to be doing and prepping for the author interview that I'm going to have later on today. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working on that. Then after my author interview, I'm going to delve into Meet Cute Club, but I'll catch up with you all once I finish Meet Cute Club and have some thoughts on that. I'm getting ready for my author interview now, and it's not that I'm nervous, although I'm very nervous for it. It's just the fact that I'm doing it for the very first time, and it scares me a little because, I don't know, I've done discussions before with like writers and also in the book club, but I feel like it feels a bit different discussing an author's own book with them and like an author themselves. Like, I feel like it just feels like a whole other playing field, and I don't know how to feel. I think for now, like, I am really excited for it, and yeah. Hello and good morning, friends. So before I get into my little review of Meet Cute Club, I do have a quick unboxing to do. I've already like opened the thing, but I had a package today and I know exactly what this is. I have been wanting this for a while. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. Right, so I'm just gonna like close my eyes and just take it out of this and then like show you. I don't know if I've got the jacket right. I feel like it's right. But oh, it's a bit cold. Ooh. But this is, oh, I completely had it the wrong way this entire time. This is the hardback Fairy exclusive edition of Raybearer by John Nifweko, one of my favourite YA fantasies from last year, and it is so beautiful, and like the cover is stunning, and there's like got some really cool stenciled edges. There's nothing on the nakedness apart from this gold writing and like some detailing at the top, but that is completely okay because everything else just makes up for it. I just can't wait to display this on my shelf somewhere. I don't know where, but yes. So last night I read Meet Cute Club by Jack Harbin, and I was gonna review it right away after I finished it. However, I basically fell asleep almost straight away after finishing it. So I instead decided to just wake up in the morning, go to my online lecture and do this, and I basically have 10 more minutes until my second lesson starts. So hopefully I'll be able to just recap this and also talk about it in the 10 minutes and also introduce my next book. But basically, Meet Cute Club was a cute read. It was like cutesy, it was very light and happy, and I think that it was just very soft. And I liked the romance between Rex and Jordan, how it kind of just gave me the warm feels. However, I feel like the pacing of the novel was a little bit too fast for me. I feel like things were just happening right away, and there was almost like, there was some justification, but not enough to make it essentially like a little bit believable to me. I think that this was just a little bit too fast-paced, and I think it would have really benefited from being a little bit longer, just so we can draw out the build-up of the relationship. But apart from that, I think that it would have also done really well with a little bit more characterization, and just so that we got to feel for like more of these characters. And I think that whilst the story was great, it just didn't perform as well as I hoped it would. So I ended up giving it a 3 stars on Goodreads, but overall my rating was 3.5 stars. But I'm really excited to read more from Jack Harbin because, again, the writing was great. Like, I really enjoyed the way that he wrote his steamy scenes and just the way that he wrote certain aspects of the story. And so I'm definitely interested in checking out more works from Jack Harbin in the future. And then we get on to our third book for this romance reading vlog. And this is one that I'm really, really excited for because it's one of the ones that I'm anticipating for this year. And that is Love is a Revolution by Renee Watson. And this cover is simply stunning. It is designed by Alex Cabal, and the jacket design was by Jeanette Levy. I think I mentioned this yesterday, but I don't know if I did. But you get it again because they deserve extra credit for having just such a stunning artistry on the cover. But I'm really excited for this book, and I'm really excited to see what it has to offer because it basically follows Nala, who basically falls instantly in love with Ty, an activist within the local community, and he seeks to help the local community as well. And so Nala, wanting to get closer to Ty, decides to tell just a few white lies in order to get closer to him. However, as she does begin to get closer to him, the lies begin to spin out of control, and Nala will have to confront a few hard truths in order to get through the rest of the story. And whilst love can be really, really great, self-love, she'll find, is revolutionary. And so I'm really excited to see like how the self-love aspect plays into this. And I know that Renee Watson popped in like the description where that she dismantles quite a few common stereotypes with romance. And so I'm really excited to see how this pays off. I think that way back in my first romance reading vlog, I mentioned how reading romance really helped me dismantle a lot of the stereotypes that I internalized about reading romance because I didn't think it was for me. And then I discovered that it was. Because there's a lot of really good lessons you can learn from reading romance novels. And I think that a lot of people miss out on that because they are very elitist about the literature that they read. And I think that it's something that we really need to work to dismantle because you can literally analyze a romance novel. Like, I swear, a lot of the classics that people like to like analyze are basically glorified romance novels. And so I don't get why they try and be so stiffy and elitist about romance novels today when they could eventually become the classics that people read in like 50 years. It's very like hypocritical to me. I'm really excited to see how Renee Watson takes this and how she is able to transform the landscape of self-love and how one girl learns to love not only other people but also love herself. I saw that Nick Stone yesterday published this entire video about how she's scared about the world because she writes stories about black pain and she writes stories about like people suffering, and those sell really well whilst her other novels don't sell as much. And she's afraid because of her son, and it really spoke to me. Like, it really spoke to me because it reinforces a lot of the stereotypes that I was talking about yesterday in my author interview about how people only really want to read black stories when it's about black pain. And it really, really spoke to me because as someone who wants to write their own novel and like Black Boy Joy, like it makes me sad that people only want to read about my pain as opposed to wanting to read about people like me being happy and people like me being joyful. There are instances where joy does go really well, but usually that is only when there's also a white protagonist alongside the person of color in the narrative. I'm praying that the publishing industry like transforms in the next few years because I think that it's definitely something that is a really, really big issue, and especially since we're seeing now like how many people in the United States and also in the United Kingdom that are people of color and work in the publishing industry. It's very, very, very astounding to see the numbers, and they're not good. They're really not good. Okay, so my class is starting and I need to go, but I will do a bunch of things today. I will read Love is a Revolution and I will catch up with you once I finish, and I have a bunch of thoughts to discuss with you. Okay, so this book is really good so far. Like, I'm just so obsessed with like the setup of this and like the way that Nala as a character is being built up. And the fact that she's Jamaican as well, just, it's great. Like, I'm spotting a lot more Jamaican characters in narratives and I'm loving it. Like, it's amazing. Things are getting out of hand. And Nala really needs to tell the truth, but also she's trying to discover who she is. And like, as someone who is currently going through this journey as well, it's very existential to me, and very existential in the case that I literally am watching someone else going through an identity crisis and me kind of going through an identity crisis. It's very like hitting. I don't know, I'm just really resonating with Nala as a character at this moment in time, and Ty is such like a great guy as well. Like, he literally wants nothing but the best for Nala, coming up with ways to support her, giving her space when she needs it. I can't wait to see how this ends, and yeah. Let me get this dust jacket back on and then we can talk about it. So I just finished Love is a Revolution by Renee Watson and I really enjoyed it. I loved the lessons that it preached about loving yourself and ensuring that you know what you want to do and that you know your place in the world, and that it reinforces this idea that you shouldn't really need to lie to conform to someone else's narrative, and that people should just accept you for who you are. It depends on whether you like having that kind of relationship based on a lie plot line. If you're not really a big fan of it, then maybe this might not be the book for you, but if you do kind of like the inevitable justice that will come to a character for lying, this could be something you might want to pick up. Although I will comment that the things are resolved pretty quickly after the lies are exposed. I do think it might be like a little bit of an issue with pacing, purely because of the way that it's like exposed like 75% of the way through the novel, like a third act kind of breakup essentially. So that was one thing that I didn't really enjoy as much. The other thing was the amount of girl on girl hate there was in this book. Nala is very judgmental of a lot of the other black girls within this novel, and in return, like, there are a few black girls who are judgmental on Nala. I do think, like, I just didn't like that as much. I found that, like, it wasn't needed, and I feel like even at the end of the novel we didn't really get a resolution as to why there was so much girl on girl hate throughout the novel. There was like one little bit of like conversation, but like it wasn't enough to show that they were like a full healing. But overall, the key messages of this novel were amazing. I love the fact that she had to grow confident within herself in order to truly figure out what she wanted to do, and so there's definitely a few lessons to take from this. And I love that the way that Renee Watson writes. It's perfectly catered to like a teenage audience, and so teenagers would definitely love like reading this and getting the lessons from this, and I definitely think it's a great book to learn from as well. And so yeah, that is Love is a Revolution. The next book that I'm then going to be reading is You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle. Now, a lot of people have been wanting me to get into this, like Maha and V and Sil, and I picked it up a few months back, but I haven't actually delved into it until now, and so I'm really excited to finally get into this. So this basically follows Naomi and Nicholas, who are basically pitched as like the perfect couple. However, when it comes to their marriage, both of them want out because they hate each other. They hate each other so much. However, they don't want to be the first ones to back out, otherwise they'll have to front the entire wedding bill. And so comes like a game of pranks and like situations where they're basically trying to get one another to back out of the wedding first in order to not have to pay as much. And so when they start finally being themselves towards one another, maybe something starts between them, which is much more like love. I'm really excited to be getting into this one because this definitely seems much more enemies to lovers and something that is definitely up my alley, and I'm just really excited to see what this has to offer. I think the cover is just gorgeous, and this was designed by Emily Cordell, and so it's stunning, and I can't wait to see like the story that unfolds and how this relationship works out. I'm really excited to get into it, and I'm really excited to like just experience this and finally be able to discuss this with everyone who has been wanting me to read this for the longest time. And so yeah, but I'm gonna get to reading this and I will chat with you at some point throughout the reading process. So yeah. Hello and good morning, friends, and by good morning I mean good afternoon, because I literally woke up at 1 p.m. today. It wasn't my intention and it wasn't something that I was particularly going for. Like, I planned to wake up at like 9 o'clock. Fate wasn't in my favor today. I ordered myself a Starbucks because basically I felt too lazy to actually make matcha today, so I just ordered one from Starbucks. Oh, it's really good. It's really good. I basically spent most of my night yesterday reading You Deserve Each Other, and I'm having like a love-hate relationship with it, because whilst I am enjoying the plot and like the enemies to lovers aspects of it, I literally feel like a lot of the stuff that they're angry about could really be resolved by just communicating with one another and just saying what each other wants out of the relationship. I don't know, I'm really enjoying the back and forth between Nicholas and Naomi. Overall though, I have about like half of the book left, and so I'm really excited to see how it ends. I'm really excited to see kind of how the miscommunication and enemies to lovers resolves itself, because I'm really seeing like a few of like the hints of the reformation of the relationship and how they both could potentially get back together and have a strong relationship overall. But at the same time as well, I think that Nicholas really does need to grow a lot as well as a character, because a lot of the things that he does really irks me, like the way that he's so elitist and snobbish towards Naomi's friends. But then at the same time, I think Naomi needs to grow a lot as well and stop assuming that Nicholas will just know everything. But yeah, for the past few days, it's been a bit of a weird one for me. Like, I've been feeling okay. I just don't know, I've just been feeling a bit down. So it's been pretty, like, hard to, like, be positive. My birthday is tomorrow, which is a huge positive. I'm excited for it to be turning 21, to be honest. But at the same time, it's, like, pretty scary, because 21 is just such, like, a big age. And I don't know what I want to do with my life. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get to finishing You Deserve Each Other, and I'll catch up with you soon. Hi, so I literally just finished You Deserve Each Other. Oh, it improved vastly. I think that the latter part of the novel was definitely something that I needed, and I ended up giving this 4 stars, and I don't think it's going to change at all, because I was like initially at the end of the book was like 5 stars, here we go. But then the more I thought about it, the more I thought about the issues that I had in the beginning of the novel, and so that's what bumped it down, unfortunately. I just think the miscommunication made it hard for me to connect with Naomi or Nicholas at the beginning, and the fact they were pretty much douchebags to one another also made it pretty hard for me to like really empathize with any of them. But the more I got through the novel, the more I saw them begin to change, and I really felt for them then as we got to look past the facades they were putting on and the facade Naomi gave in the very beginning. And so we got to see what was happening behind the relationship and all of the things that led up to their ultimate crash. and it was really nice to see them kind of evaluate the situation together and also work in order to improve the relationship. I think there were just some golden moments throughout this, especially the scene where Deborah and Nicholas's mother comes to their house. I just found that entire sequence to be hilarious. I think I have like a lot of footage of me laughing at that scene like within seconds of one another. I feel like the beginning portion was just a bit too much for me, but I can see why a lot of people did like that because it justified the enemies aspect of this. But you really got to see they were enemies anyway, from the fact that they didn't want to get married to one another, they hated each other. I think that the other aspects of like miscommunication, the slight digs at one another, were just to reinforce that, and they were kind of not needed to the extent that Sarah Hogel wrote it, but I can see why she did that to really reinforce it, and I'm not mad about it. It's just something that I personally didn't enjoy. I would recommend that you read this. If you can get past like the beginning like 100 pages, I think that you can really enjoy the rest of the novel and seeing like the build up of the relationship, and it does like really improve, and the writing is sensational and sweet, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I would recommend this if you can get past like the mass amount of miscommunication in the beginning. And then the very last book that we'll be reading for the romance reading vlog, because I decided to save the Kiss Quotient until I can do a whole trilogy reading vlog of Helen Huang's series. So with the Quick Kiss Quotient, the Bride Test, and the Heart Principle, I feel like having a trilogy romance reading vlog would really make a difference as opposed to my fantasy trilogy reading vlogs. And so instead, the very last book that I'll then be reading for the romance reading vlog today is Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. Now, a lot of you recommended this to me if I was a fan of Red, White, and Royal Blue, which I was. And I can definitely see why you recommended that to me because of like two main reasons. One, this has the fake dating relationship trope, which I kind of really like. And also two, it's set in the UK, and so why not? The synopsis also gives a lot to the Red, White, and Royal Blue feels, as this follows Luke, who is kind of like semi-famous. However, as he gets into like this scandal and his reputation is ruined, he seeks to like repair it by getting into a relationship with someone kind and respectable. And so he meets Oliver, who's like a vegetarian, a barrister, and basically quite prim and proper, and they basically both decide to enter this fake dating relationship in order to both mutually benefit one another. As, again, Luke needs to repair his reputation, and Oliver needs a date for this big event that he's unfortunately single for, and so begins this fake dating relationship. And as we all know with fake dating, it kind of blurs the lines between what's fake and what's real, and slowly but surely, within like these 400 pages, they're gonna get together. And so I'm really excited to see what happens in this, and like just to get those feels that I got for Red, White, and Royal Blue again. And I've never read an Alexis Hall novel before. The cover and the illustrations are really cute as well, and it was made by Elizabeth Turner Stokes. The chapter headings, as I've recently just seen, are like the tube stations. And so that makes me really excited to read this. I think I might also be watching some Sweet Home tonight with Blake, because we've been trying to like buddy watch Korean dramas together, and so we recently finished Kingdom, so we've been watching Sweet Home, and we've only watched the first episode, but it's really good so far, and I'm really enjoying like kind of the world building and the way they're building up the horror aspects of it. Yeah, I'm gonna get to reading, and I will catch up with you probably in my bed, because that's where I've been in the last few days, but I'll catch up with you once I'm part of the way through it. Right. Hi friends, it's my birthday, I'm 21. Feels weird, but I want to thank you all for all of the messages that you've been sending me on Twitter and Instagram and on the Discord server for the Late Night Book Club. It's just been very heartwarming and amazing. I put my desk together, which was amazing, and now I have a really nice standing desk. I have some really nice books that I unboxed. But anyway, this 21-year-old now is going to finish this book, and then we're going to wrap up the vlog, and I'm excited. So I'm gonna catch up with you soon. Hello everyone, so I basically finished Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall, and I ended up giving this like 2.5/3 stars. I liked it. I liked the build-up of the romance, and I liked the way the romance was developed throughout the course of the novel. I liked Oliver as a character, and I liked the way that he was just so warm and fuzzy for 90% of the novel. I think that he was just such a great character until, like, he basically had, like, this conflict in the last 10% that didn't really make sense whatsoever. I think what ruins this story for me a bit is, like, the believability of this story. Like, the whole premise is the fact that Luke basically has to find this good gay of a boyfriend in order to not get fired from his job for being a bad gay or, like, the wrong type of homosexual. And, like, even he in the beginning comments that it's, like, pretty much illegal. To which he probably could have sued. Like, he could have literally just used the Equality Act of 2010, got Oliver in on the case. Oliver could have been his lawyer in representation, and then, like, although Oliver specializes in criminal law, so probably not, but, like, it could be, like, that one special case he takes on because he's quite passionate about it because of his identity, and he does it because, like, his parents are, like, quite homophobic, and I'm not going to rewrite the story. I just think that there were just a few issues in terms of, like, the plot for me in why this didn't work so well. I also think that, like, we just needed more substance in both the relationship but also the characters. I find that Luke was basically one of the only fleshed out characters in the novel. I think that everyone else could have done with a lot more dimensions being added to them. Overall, it's a good, fluffy, light and humorous read if you're looking for that. I think, like, the humor was pretty spot on, and I was just laughing a lot throughout this. It was great. It just felt like I was more of a spectator rather than an active participant in this world, and it was just quite sad because I felt like I wasn't really living in it, and I just felt sad about that. I think it could have been so much more. That is literally everything. This is like 5 romance novels that I've read over the course of 5 days, I want to say. Each one has been amazing in its own special way. The best novel, of course, has been One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. Oh look, I'm matching it again. And this is definitely one you really need to go pick up. If you loved Red, White and Royal Blue, if you love Casey McQuiston's writing, go pick this up. They are exceptionally stellar once again in their romance writing, and Casey McQuiston has become one of my new favourite novelists of all time. Who knew? I think that for romance, I definitely would look to Casey McQuiston and also Talia Hibbert from now on, because they just deliver again and again, and it's great having favourite authors in these genres. Meet Cute Club was indeed cute, but I feel like it lacked a bit of substance that I needed for it to be a fully fleshed out story. Love in a Revolution was so amazing. It talked a lot about self-love and knowing your worth, and just kind of not having to hide parts of yourself and just being authentically yourself in order to find love. The fact that there was girl-on-girl hate in this, and it just relied a lot on the lie as plot, just didn't really vibe with me that well, and then I felt like the plot was a little bit rushed in the end. And then I got into You Deserve Each Other, which I didn't really vibe with for the first like 100 pages, but then once I got to like a specific point, and someone on my tweet actually pinpointed the exact place where like my impression of some of these characters changed, the novel just becomes immensely better. It is just such an amazing read about kind of a failed relationship and how they build it back up on trust and communication, and just the way that you need to be open and be communicative with your partner. So this was probably my second favourite of the reading vlog as a whole. Finally, we got on to Boyfriend Material, which I just discussed, where it was a great read, but I had a few issues with it, but it's still great for a kind of cute and fluffy read as well. And so yeah, this is literally volume 2 of the romance reading vlog done and dusted. I'm really excited for volume 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Not saying that I know what the books are going to be, but I definitely want to do more romance reading vlogs, because I feel like cutting out this time for like romance is just going to be amazing. And so yeah, I think that it's going to be great. And if you do have any other romance recommendations or books that you'd like me to read, pop them down in the comment section down below. Also, this doesn't stop me from doing like romance series vlogs, like I'm going to probably be doing with the Kiss Quotient as well. And again, a massive thank you to Native for sponsoring this video. You can check out all of the information about them in the description down below. I would just highly recommend checking that out. Today I've been wearing their vanilla and coconut scent, and it's just been amazing to smell like this on my birthday, because it just completely keeps me motivated for the year ahead. And so yeah, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, be sure to click that subscribe button so that you're notified whenever I upload next. And yeah, if you want to find me on any of the social media platforms, I'll have those linked in the description down below as well, just in case you want to check me out there. I'll also include my coffee and my Amazon wishlist, just in case you want to support me any further. I feel like my brain has gotten bigger through reading romance. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. I feel like reading romance has allowed me to become more in touch with my emotional side, but then also become more empathetic towards people. And it's amazing because it's a way that connects us more as people, because we're reading about other people's raw emotions, and it's great. I am just really happy that I got to do this again, and I'm just really hoping that you enjoyed it. So yeah, I guess until the next video, bye friends.